How do I know if my hard disk is BitLocker encrypted? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. Your hard disk might be BitLocker encrypted and you might not even realize it. Now, on one hand, that might seem okay. Encryption is good, true? But it's good until it's not. Let's figure out whether your hard disk is encrypted, discuss why it matters, and then explore what you might need to do about it. All right, we'll start with Windows Pro because that's easy. We'll fire up Windows File Explorer, and here you can see that my local disk C has a padlock icon on top of its disk icon. That implies that the drive is BitLocker encrypted. The drive next to it, the second internal drive, my D drive, does not have that padlock. If I right-click on the C drive, I have the option to manage BitLocker. If I right-click on the D drive, I have the option to turn on BitLocker. Easy. Obvious. We know what we're dealing with. Windows Home is where things get interesting, specifically Windows 11 Home editions. Technically, BitLocker isn't available in Windows Home. So the icons and pop-up menu items we saw above just aren't present. I've switched over to Windows 11 Home and I've fired up Windows File Explorer. We take a look at this PC. Yeah, there's a padlock icon on it. But the options that we might want to deal with, like dealing with BitLocker at all in any way, just aren't present. What happened? What's scary is that I never turned on encryption when I set up this version of Windows 11 Home. This happened by default. However, the good news is that you can make sure you understand what's happening on your machine. We'll fire up the Settings app. Over here in Privacy and Security, you'll see that there may be something called device encryption. Now, you may not see device encryption. If you don't, then your hard disk is not encrypted. You don't have to worry about it. However, it may not be encrypted simply because your hardware doesn't have the requirements. We don't know what the requirements are, but I can tell you that if you don't have a TPM, or if your TPM is not enabled, and you somehow manage to install Windows 11, that would be one way of not having this available to you. Nonetheless, device encryption is the feature we're talking about. And as it turns out, with new Windows 11 Home installations, it is often turned on by default. What that means is that your hard disk is encrypted, even though you didn't ask for it. Now, you can turn it off if you want to. You can turn off simply by turning this slider off, and Windows will go through the steps of decrypting your hard drive. Honestly, it's up to you. I'll get to that in a second. There's something more important here, though, that I want you to do instead. And this is true of both Windows Pro editions and Windows 11 Home editions that happen to have device encryption turned on. We're going to go to this link, aka.ms/myrecoverykey. After you perhaps sign in to your Microsoft account, which should be the same Microsoft account that you're using on your PC, you should find here listed your recovery keys. Now, this particular account has two of them because it's associated with more than one machine. The machine we care about is this Windows 11 Home that I've got down below here. And even though you can't necessarily see it because I've got it obscured, there's a lengthy recovery key. My point is simply this: make absolutely certain you have this key. If you do not, and you ever are unable to sign into Windows for any reason, then everything on your hard disk will be lost because it's encrypted and you don't have a way to decrypt it. In fact, I often go so far as to not only ensure that I can access the key online here, but also perhaps copy paste it, select and copy paste it and save it somewhere else. Remember, this key online is also gated by my ability to sign in to my Microsoft account. If for some reason I can't, I would not be able to access the key. That could be a situation that I find myself in where I want the key. So I also save it somewhere else as well. Now, the other option, of course, like I said, is that you can go ahead and turn off device encryption. Or if you're running Windows Pro editions, you can turn off BitLocker. I can't tell you if that's the right thing for you or not. It depends on how you use your computer and what your security concerns really are. Having it on means that even if your computer or the hard drive was stolen, your data would remain secure. The cost, if you will, is that it's more difficult to access the hard drive for things like repair or recovery. With encryption turned off, attaching the hard drive to another machine or even booting your existing machine from a bootable USB stick should allow all of the disk's content to be accessible without question. Bottom line here, it remains your choice whether or not to have your drive whole disk encrypted by BitLocker, even if Microsoft didn't tell you. Whatever the case, confirm that your BitLocker recovery key has been saved somewhere. If not, decrypt the drive immediately and then decide whether or not you want to encrypt it again, saving the recovery key if you do so. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/179885. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.